Picture this scenario. You're a shareholder and probably the director in a small, unquoted trading company. You've got one or two other shareholders, and one of them has now come to you and said that he wants to sell his shares and perhaps retire. The first thought is possibly panic, but there's no need for that. Today I want to introduce you to a couple of strategies that you can use to achieve a favourable outcome. The first of these is the fact that a company can buy its own shares. In what scenarios can you use this? You want to dispose of your stake in a company to your fellow shareholders. Now, you could just sell your shares to them, but maybe the company could buy your shares instead. Alternatively, your fellow shareholders may want to dispose of their shares, and likewise, by the company buying the shares, you end up with a majority or complete shareholding. Why is this advantageous? Well, it means that because the company is buying the shares, the company finances the deal. It is also very tax efficient because you haven't got to extract cash from the company and pay tax on that money. Having agreed that the company is going to buy back the shares, how are the proceeds to be treated? Well, if you get it right, then they're treated as capital, subject to capital gains tax, and you qualify for entrepreneurs relief, and so only pay tax at 10%. If you get it wrong, then there's the possibility that the proceeds can be taxed as dividends and subject to income tax. Now, there are certain conditions if you want to get the most advantageous taxation result here. First of these is it's got to be an unquoted trading company. The deal has got to be for the benefit of the trade, but a retiring shareholder director is for the benefit of the trade. You must sell the entire shareholding, but you can keep 5% for sentimental reasons. The seller then needs to resign as a director, but as we've spoken about before, they don't resign as a director until the deal is done, because if they're not a director at the time of the disposal, then they won't get entrepreneurs relief. They've got to be UK residents, and the shares must have been held for a minimum of 5 years. The alternative is liquidation. Now, this requires an insolvency practitioner. It'll cost a minimum of about £3,000, and inevitably there may be some local publicity. Situations where this may be appropriate, it could be you've got a personal service company, it's just your own company, you've built up a lot of cash. By liquidating it and assuming that you qualify for entrepreneurs relief, then all that cash can be withdrawn from the company and you only pay tax at a maximum of 10%. It could be there's been a death in the family and this is an easy way of getting rid of the company, or it could be that the shareholders are no longer talking to each other and liquidation is the only route. The proceeds, as long as you qualify for entrepreneurs relief, the proceeds are taxed as capital, meaning that you should only pay tax at 10%. However, there are various conditions that you've got to comply with, and so it's a good idea to come and speak to us well in advance. Now, it was suggested a little while ago that you could have serial liquidations. So you would run your company, make some profit, build up some cash, liquidate, start a new company and do the whole thing again. And you would extract all your profits from the company at 10%. The government have seen through this, and so there's some new anti-avoidance rules, so that if you start up again within 2 years, either as a sole trader, partner or shareholder, then you lose the capital treatment and entrepreneurs relief. So, a couple of interesting strategies there. I hope this has been of interest. If you want to explore the possibility of either of these, do come along and speak to us. I'm Alan Long from the Long Partnership, making life less taxing.